If you want to know the best methods to get all of the perfect sigils combinations you want, you are in the right place. With more than 1,000 hours of experience, I will be giving you 3 of the best sigil acquisition methods that will not only save you hundreds of hours of grinding sessions, but will also make your characters truly overpowered. Like for example, the staple reroll method, which is still part of our daily routines when it comes to character building or when making the best sigils. Every seasoned player knows this method by now, and the catch is, any player should master this trick, especially the beginners, if they want to improve the latest method that I will discuss later on. The idea of this trick is to reset or reroll, hence the name, of your current seeded results. Samurai, I'm confused. What are seeded results? I got you, my dear viewer, and basically, seeded results means all of the results of your overmastery, sigil synthesis, transmutation, and transmarvel are predetermined in every instance. And these results will never change as long as you complete another quest. Take this instance for example. Combining the 2 sigils here will give me Aegis and stun power for the main and sub trades. Even if you quit the game and reload your save, you will still be getting the same results over and over, hence the idea of the seeded results. And the same thing applies to sigil transmutation. Firing 10 transmarvels or even level 3 transmutations will give me the results over and over. So for this example, saving and reloading will constantly give me Enchantress Warpath, the Holy Knight's Luster Plus, low-level Right Stones, and the Fearless Drive Sigil, and this will never change. And let's say I don't like the first 10 results of the Transmarvels. What I will do here is quit the game, don't save your progress of course, and reload my main progress. And once we are back in the game, the only way for us to reset the seeded results is to commence any quest that you can easily clear in seconds, which is in this case is the Worried About Papa quest. Access the Worried About Papa quest, clear the boss in seconds, and return to the main town. In this way, the seeded results for your transmutations already reset. And you can confirm this by firing another 10 transmarvels where you can clearly see that the results already change. As mentioned previously, the reroll method applies to your overmasteries and sigil synthesis. So if I want to change the Aegis and stun power results that we have here, I will just do the whole reroll method and come back and see different results. After completing a quest or after the rerolling process, in this case, the sigil synthesis is now giving me an auto revive and damage cap traits. Here's an actual overview of the reroll process so you can have a better understanding from a different perspective. With that have in mind, take note of this core reroll method if you want to master the next exciting techniques in line, which you don't want to miss. You already know how to reroll your seeded results across every feature in the game. The reroll method will come in handy as mentioned if you want to master the targeted transmutation and transmarvel technique. The targeted transmutation will allow you to select specific regular sigils, right stones, or character-specific sigils. Mastering this method will help you save a ton of vouchers, especially if you are on the hunt for perfect character warpath sigils. To demonstrate the actual method, save the game first, and I will now blast 100 transmarvels while hunting for good warpath sigils. Checking the results here by going over the blue sigils since these are the character-specific sigils in the game. And there we go! Sandalphon's Warpath Sigil is actually perfect because of the Nimble Onslaught second trait it provides. And pay close attention to this, as we need to track Sandalphon's Warpath Sigil's exact transmutation count. Head on the top of the results, and I will start counting from left to right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we are sure that each line contains 6 sigils in total, so take note of this. What I will do next is count from top to bottom by 6. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and then 36. I know that the 36 sigil line contains Sandalphon's Warpath Sigil, so I will now count backwards. That's 36, 35, and there we go. The Warpath Sigil that we want is in the 34th slot. Or perhaps, the sigil will appear after 34 transmarvels, which will make sense in a minute. So now that we do have the knowledge that the Warpath Sigil that I want is in the 34th slot, what I will do here is exit the Transmarvel screen, exit the game, and reload my save. Once the game is back, head to CRO and do 34 Transmarvel this time. and this will 100% give me Sandalphon's Warpath Sigil at the end of the Sigil results. This is a game changer since I just saved 66 Transmarvel charges that I can use for more Warpath Sigils. But Samurai, my desired Sigil are on the 100 slot. I just wasted a lot of vouchers. What should I do? And this is where the reroll trick comes in, my dear viewer. Just reload your save, clear a mission, and check the results once again. We can only hope that your next good sigil will only take a few vouchers before targeting it, or else you will do the reroll trick once again. But if you want to avoid wasting hundreds of hours on sigil synthesis, you don't want to miss the next method. And if you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me more than you can imagine. Join our Discord server and team up with other players and help us build our community. Sigil synthesis is the key factor in allowing players to make the best sigils in the game. In the past, since we already knew that all of the results from doing sigil synthesis were seeded or predetermined, we just did the reroll trick over and over until our desired combinations appeared. But what if I told you that there's a much more efficient method than this? And this is where the seeded synthesis table method comes in. The idea of this method is knowing and tracking the sigil synthesis results after combining the same type of sigils over and over. Since if you can remember, the sigil synthesis results are predetermined and never change unless you clear a specific quest. Like for example here, I would love to create a sigil with stun power as the main trait and a damage cap for the sub-trait. You need to make sure that your sort settings are set to order acquired under the criteria, and oldest first is set under the order setting. And the main filter of course needs to be set for stun power. If you did it correctly, your screen should look like this, filled with stun power sigils in line. Moving on to the second slot in here, and the same thing applies. Sort settings are set to order acquired under the criteria, and oldest first is set under the order setting. And the main filter of course needs to be set for damage cap, and your screen should be filled with damage cap in line just like what I have here. After setting the correct filters, make sure to save your progress. And this is where the magic starts. So what I will do next is combine the first stun power and damage cap placed in the first slots. Of course, it is not guaranteed that we will get the stun power and damage cap traits as a result for the first combination. But instead, I will note the exact results in here, which are Aegis and stun power, which is obviously the one that we don't like. So I will continue combining another stun power and damage cap sigil to resume the process. The second stun power and damage cap sigil placed on the second slot gives me improved dodge and improved healing as a result. Obviously, we don't want this, but as you can see, I am noting the results in here as I go forward. I will then combine another stun power and damage cap sigil for the third time, and let's see the results. And this time, the third slot gave us a nimble onslaught and a combo booster combination, which is still not the combination that we are looking for obviously. It is time to continue the process and check the result of the fourth slot. And this attempt gave me a trashy nimble onslaught and poison resistance. So there's no option here other than to continue. We are down on the fifth combination attempt, and let's see what's in store for us. And there we go! A stun power set as the main trait and damage cap as the second trait. But before you celebrate with guns blazing, we are still not done yet. So to just keep things on track, we got this perfect combination on the fifth attempt, right? So make sure to take note of this information. To finalize the process, exit the Sigil Synthesis menu and don't save your progress. I repeat, don't save your progress. But instead, exit the game by returning to the title screen and then load your progress. Once the game is back, head back to Zero and access Sigil Synthesis. Going back to my notes here, I already know that my desired combination will appear on the fifth combination. Or should I say, the desired combination will appear after combining the fifth sigil slot, which will make sense in a minute. Pay close attention to this, as we are back in the Sigil Synthesis menu. Since I know that the fifth combination attempt will give me the results that I want, I will now count from top to bottom, until I reach the stun power placed on the fifth sigil slot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And the same process applies to the second damage cap sigil. I will then count from the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And guess what? Combining both of the sigils placed on the 5th slot will 100% guaranteed my desired outcome, which is a sigil with stun power set as the main trait and damage cap set as the sub-trait. Because of this process, I saved 4 stun power sigils and 4 damage cap sigils, and I saved tons of time in the process, rather than re-rolling the results over and over. And these are all powerful techniques that will save you hundreds of hours. And with these techniques, you are now ready to make your characters overpowered. But what if you want to know the strongest AI companions in the current meta? Click on this video to learn everything that you need to know. And with that, I am the Samurai. Thank you for watching and I will catch you on the next one.